Hey everyone, I'm reading an article about how EasyJet, this is an airline that's mainly in the Middle East. I think it's a discount airline actually. They're banning peanuts on all flights. A lot of people have peanut allergies, so I think peanut allergies are one of the more severe ones. I don't know anybody who has peanut allergies, but I've heard that it can be life-threatening. And I want to say that I also have allergies, and I do not like this strategy of these blanket bans on food because they really miss out on some common sense etiquette that one may have. One of the big problems, especially here in the United States, I don't seem to experience this as much when I travel, so that's why I'm saying United States is that people have a hygiene habit that drives me nuts. Even when I don't get an allergy from it, it drives me nuts that people do this. Is that when they eat finger foods, and finger foods are much more common in America than some places that I've traveled to, they have a habit that after they're done, they dust off their hands or their mouth and get crumbs everywhere. I've traveled to Eastern Europe and Japan, and I haven't seemed to notice this as much. I don't know the reason for that. I actually, one time, just as a little bit of an experiment, because I've been on airplanes where they've asked people not to eat peanuts, uh, as a little bit of a social experiment, if you will. At one time, I asked the flight attendant if she would announce for people not to do that, and she gave me a very puzzled look. I was only doing it as a little bit of a social experiment. It didn't really bother me that much. Usually, when I sit down, I'll talk to the people next to me, introduce myself, say hello, and then explain to them. It's usually not a problem. Actually, my big fear when I sit down is that the person next to me won't be fluent in English, and I might have a little bit of a hard time getting around explaining that. I have eczema, and certain food products give me a problem. I certainly don't want to have trouble with that when I'm confined to an airplane. And I actually have switched seats on an airplane just because I just so I can sit next to somebody who's fluent in English. Also, I have found it helpful to print out on the computer my concern, especially in Spanish, because my big language barrier is when I run into somebody who's a native Spanish speaker, and they might speak a little bit of English, just enough that they will actually want to talk to me, but won't be able to understand me. That's the big problem sometimes. If they don't understand me, usually that's not as big of a problem. They understand that I have a problem, and then I can switch seats. But when people are a little bit curious, it makes it hard, to switch seats. Almost like you're prejudice or something like that. Um, so I find it helpful to write it out in Spanish before I go to the airport. Anyways, I don't have peanut allergies, so I really cannot speak for that. Maybe people with peanut allergies, of just avoiding doing that, what I just described, would not be 100% helpful. I know it is helpful for the allergies that I do have relating to eczema. So I wish the idea of not dusting your hands off. I don't even know what the terminology for that is, but I'm just gonna. I wish the idea of not doing that was as common as, okay, you wash your hands before and after eating, or after using the bathroom, or something like that. I often wish that it was something that was preached on that magnitude. Obviously, it's not the crime of the century to do it, but it'd be nice if there was a little bit of awareness and an actual term for it. Just like you tell people to wash their hands, you don't tell them, you have to do this, you have to rub your hands together like that, you have to wash with water, and sometimes the lack of terminology could just be the barrier there. Thanks for watching.